The Fueled by Death guest.
So, first question, who is your favorite employee?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like that you're thinking about it. None of them. That's good. That's good.
Okay, who's your least favorite? It's got to be Kane, right?
Right?
Oh, yes.
All right. Thank you very much for stopping by. That's all the questions we have for today. No, but let's start where we always like to start, in the beginning, and talk a little bit about how you got this job and maybe what you were doing before you started working for Death Wish Coffee.
Before here, I worked in makeup for about 6 years. It's kind of a funny story how I got this job.
Okay.
So I interviewed with Mike 3 times. I thought I had this bag, like in the bag, for this job, and I didn't. So I didn't get hired. I was super bummed because this was like one of the first jobs that I was really stoked about interviewing for.
Yeah.
And Mike was super cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like an interview. I don't even think he really knew how to interview.
Right.
So when I didn't get it, I was super bummed. And then I think like 10 months went by, and I went to Log Bay Day, and I was really drunk. And I saw someone with a Death Wish hat, and I was like, "Do you work for Death Wish?" And they were like, "No, but guess who's here?" And they brought me over to Mike, and I was like falling over, and I
Hired.
Yep, and I guess I told him I still want to work for you. I asked him if he remembered me, and he was like, "Yeah." And then I passed out after that, so I don't. And then
Like directly after, can I work for you?
I made it back to my boat.
Which I was driving at the time I passed out.
I was not. And then Monday, I woke up and I didn't really remember that all happened, and I got a phone call, and it was Mike. And he asked me to come in to meet the team.
That's awesome.
Yeah, at that point, I think we had let go of the person who was office managing before that. So it was probably amazing timing.
Yeah,
it was
perfect timing.
It was written in the stars.
It was fate.
Had you heard of Death Wish Coffee before you applied?
No, actually, I didn't really know anything about it. I don't even remember how I found it in the first place when I first applied.
Probably
Yeah.
Craigslist.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
Interesting. So how long have you been now with the company?
Just over a year.
Okay. So about a year ago, obviously it was a lot less people worked here. And how has you are officially the office manager of Death Wish Coffee Company. So how has that kind of changed your job? Has your job changed from like day one to like your duties now?
It has changed, yes, a lot. When I first started, I don't remember how many people were working here. Maybe like 11.
Yeah.
I want to say.
It was more. When I came on, it was around like 10 or 11. And then when you came on, it was probably more like 14 or 15.
Something.
A couple
imagine.
more, yeah.
Yeah. So since I've been here, it's pretty much doubled,
Yeah.
which is crazy because I hired a lot of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But from when I first started, I've had a lot of tasks added to my list now, helping out with marketing,
Yeah.
and writing blogs.
Yeah, you're writing blogs now, too.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience in writing before this?
No. I just remember in college, my favorite class was English, because we used to have this assignment that was write a journal every week, and you can write about whatever you want. And I did really good in that class because of that, because I
Nice.
always enjoyed it. So that was really cool. I was excited to do that.
What made you decide to have a career change? Because you said you worked in makeup for 6 years. Like, what did it just become something you didn't want to do anymore, or?
So when I first started in makeup, I really didn't know too much about it.
Did you go to school for it?
No.
Oh, cool.
I didn't. I did customer service for a little bit before that. And I worked in a cube, and I hated it. And I got fired. So
What'd you get fired for?
I just didn't go.
That's grounds for firing.
Yeah, because I didn't like it. So
All right.
I didn't like the job, didn't like the people. But after that, when I got let go, the first place I went was Sephora to apply there, just because I had always kind of had an interest in makeup.
Okay.
More so on like the skincare line. But so I applied there and I got hired really quickly. And then I loved it for a while. It was like, this is, something I enjoyed and dread going to work. It was a lot of fun. I loved the girls that I worked with everywhere. I worked at a few different places doing makeup. And then it just kind of got to the point where I felt like I didn't care if I ever put makeup on anyone again a day in my life.
Yeah.
It kind of like ruined the passion for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That can happen though. I mean, you never know until you dive headfirst into something like that, especially. But I'm very thankful that happened because now you're with us.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize what it takes to be in that industry either.
Yeah.
I think it took like a huge toll on me because for a while, it really kind of hurt my confidence.
Really? Explain that a little.
So at Sephora, there's a lot of guidelines that you have to follow.
Okay.
As far as the makeup that you have to wear on your face, that's mandatory every single day.
Wow. Wow, instead of a dress code, it's a makeup code.
Yeah.
That's very weird.
Yeah, we had just like a very plain, kind of like a smock dress that looked like a Star Trek dress.
Weird.
We used to, the girls used to complain about it, but it was because we're not attracting people with our bodies, we're attracting them with our faces.
Okay.
So it was the makeup that they were paying attention to.
Okay.
And like if I like went through the list of everything you had to wear on your face, you guys probably wouldn't know half the stuff I said.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. And so that was something that actually took the fun away from it, I'm sure. Right?
Yeah, because I didn't feel like fully put together or myself if I left the house without makeup on. I didn't feel like good looking without it. So it took a lot for me, and now you'll notice like very rarely my eye makeup's done. Like it's like I'm just too lazy to do it now, but for a while I couldn't even leave the house without it.
Wow. Well, it's got to be freeing too to be in a job where, I mean, as an office manager, sure, you deal with the public every day to day, and all that kind of stuff, but it's not like we have a makeup code here at Death Wish Coffee.
Right.
Or a dress code.
Or
And
maybe
for that,
we
Matt,
should.
Jeff, you need 10 pounds of face makeup every day.
Done.
And a Star Trek dress.
Done. I already have the Star Trek jet.
Oh, I've got it.
He's wearing one right now.
Right? Never
Keeps it in his
returned
trunk.
that.
Yes.
Do you I've asked this question before. I think it was to Alyssa. Do you think there should be a dress code here?
No.
That's great.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think there's a pro and a con to it. I think it's nice because when you're feeling lazy, you can wear whatever you want and
Right.
nobody cares. Nobody
Right.
says anything. But at the same time, it was almost nice having a uniform because you didn't have to pick what you had to wear every day.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like at Death Wish we celebrate individuality, and having a dress code completely takes away from that. I feel like
Yeah.
half of your expression of personality, at least right off the bat, comes from what you're wearing.
Right.
And Death Wish shirts are awesome, but I'm not gonna wear one every day.
But I think that's what's nice about it is that there's this almost moderate dress code at this company where, it is encouraged that we rep the company we work for, but it's not like mandatory. It's not like you have to wear, 35 pieces of Death Wish flair every single day when you walk into work, but it is nice to, be able to work for a company that makes a cool brand and being able to, because you're right, I don't want to wear a Death Wish shirt or a Death Wish hat every single day, but I do like rocking them.
Yeah.
Even
at events, I remember it was a concert. I think it was Disturbed or something like that. And a bunch of us got the VIP treatment at a Disturbed show at SPAC. And I think I didn't show up in a Death Wish shirt, and Mike was sad. And instead of hey, at these events, you should be wearing and representing and blah, blah. Now he was like, I'm kind of sad. It's like, oh, I'll go change right now.
I want to make you sad.
And it's a little different, too, because even if we did have a uniform, if it were the Death Wish t-shirt, wherever you go, everybody wants it.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody wants a yellow polo that they wear at Red Robin.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
And
that
if
is
they
that
do,
is cool,
don't
too.
hang out with that person.
Right.
That person sucks.
So we talked a little bit about how this company has grown since you've been here. Can you talk a little bit about your day-to-day duties? I know you said that, you're constantly getting more and more added, like now you're writing blogs and that kind of stuff, but what does it even mean to be an office manager, especially in a company like this?
So I'm basically Mike's right-hand man, I guess you could say. Pretty much everything he needs, he'll come to me. But on a day-to-day basis, I take care of the mail. I take care of payments from our vendors. I pay our vendors.
Yeah.
Now I'm writing blogs. I also, schedule out posts like memes on Facebook and Twitter, which that's fun too.
Were you into social media before you started this job?
Yeah. A little bit. Not to the extent I think that I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has that stepped up your social media game?
Yeah,
That's
I think
awesome.
it has.
This job definitely does that.
Yeah. I definitely. I mean, I'm such a Instagram bitch.
I'll tell you.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, like coming into this job a couple months ago, I felt very confident with my social media game. I felt like I was doing a lot of social media on various networks and was really good at it, and I wasn't. I've definitely stepped that up just from working here and seeing what you can actually do with that.
Now you do just about all the interviews here now.
Yes.
What would you say? Let's say I'm coming in for a Death Wish job. What are the things that you are looking for to hire in an individual?
This is very good information to know.
I guess it's kind of case by case. It depends on the position, but mostly I do a lot of interviewing for production. And really, for me, it's really important that you have sort of that mentality and personality that's going to get along with the team that we already have.
A little bit thicker skin than usual. Yeah. Because you have to work for John. So.
Yeah, there is a different
Right,
breed that
right.
works here. With there,
Yeah.
and I think that's smart to look for that because, I mean, if we're going to get someone who is a fragile little flower, I don't think they're going to last very long, unfortunately.
They wouldn't. I don't think so. And whereas I don't necessarily think that popularity, I don't think it's like a popularity contest so much. If they can get the job, most would think, you're hired. But I think that our production team and in general our entire team is so closely knit
Yeah.
that we can't really have anybody that doesn't fall in place.
Yeah.
Because it's just a family.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, we're still a very small team. We're in very close quarters. We see each other every day. And if there was somebody here that was a putz, it would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Speaking of putzes, now obviously we're not going to name names or anything, but you have been doing a lot of these interviews lately. I want to know some dirt. Are there any crazy instances now that you've interviewed some people that have just been like, I can't believe that happened, or conversely, like, wow, this person was amazing? Or
In general, or just like with
I want to hear
people that have
specifications
Yeah.
of somebody being a dope.
okay. With can I say about somebody who works here now?
Yeah, sure, but just don't name them.
Yeah, totally.
Well, tell me first, and then we'll name them afterwards.
Okay, all right. I would have to say probably one of the funniest things, which has gotten around the office as well.
Oh, I know what this is. Is it the girlfriend one?
It is the girlfriend one.
I don't know this.
I'll tell you who it is afterwards.
I'm excited. I don't know this at all.
All right. So one of the questions that I ask everybody is, what is one of your biggest or greatest accomplishments?
Okay.
In your life?
Okay, I think that's a good question.
Yeah. And I, because it's nice to get a little bit of background about people.
Right.
And somebody told me that their girlfriend was their greatest accomplishment.
Whoa.
Can you guess who that current worker?
Current worker.
I don't know.
Guess. You gotta guess.
I'll
give you a hint. Production worker.
I don't want to guess.
I want you to guess.
I don't want to
I
guess.
want you to guess.
Oh, man. Is it Brad?
Ooh, no. It's not.
I just called out Brad.
I
Sorry.
think you just said Brad because your percentage of getting that right because we have two Brads.
Two Brads.
Here. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
threw it out.
And they both
there.
have awesome girls. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Noah.
Well, awesome and
Little
awesome
Noah.
girls. That's awesome. That's good. That's really funny.
That was a good one. I also had someone who didn't make it actually through the entire interview. Who, at the first question I asked him, what was it? I know I said it in the meeting.
Oh, I think I know the one you're going to talk about. You asked him, tell me a time at a previous job where you went above and beyond the call of duty,
for work.
like what you did more than you were asked to do.
Yes.
And what did he say?
He said he kind of looked up at the ceiling for like a minute straight. I thought he just didn't hear me. And then he snapped his head back and he was like, "Can I pass?"
Oh my god.
I told
This
him
is
we'd
not a
go
game
back
show.
to it.
Yeah.
This is not a game show.
No, we never made it back to it.
Jeff, if somebody asked you before Death Wish, of course,
Uh-huh.
Your greatest accomplishment, what would your answer be?
In now this is in life, correct? My greatest accomplishment in life before Death Wish.
Yeah.
I would have to say it would be interviewing one of my favorite musicians and about one of my favorite bands and having the publication picked up by like Blabbermouth and Rolling Stone and everything else. And that was Vinnie Paul, the drummer of Pantera, but now of the band Hell Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that got picked up, and also the Korn guy there.
yeah, I did. I interviewed Head from Korn. And
Head from Korn.
Yes, Brian Welch there, and that was a big interview too. But yeah, that was two of my biggest accomplishments, probably before working here.
Nice.
How about
a
you?
good one.
How about you?
I can fit like 28 grapes in my mouth
Nice.
without choking.
Wow,
Ooh,
that's
that's good. I can fit 24 mini marshmallows in mine.
Mini marshmallows, like
Yeah.
how many? Like the little mini like hot chocolate marshmallows, or
No, like the medium ones, I guess. Then
I can fit 92 coffee beans in my mouth.
Oh yeah, that was gross. Yeah, but you choked.
I did. And then I chewed them, and it was very caffeinated, but it was all right.
Man.
Were you a coffee drinker before you started working here?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I wouldn't say that it was real coffee. Now.
Yeah.
I used
Were you
to
the
be-
Starbucks?
I wasn't even
Oh,
a star.
okay.
I was the Dunkin'.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not real
I
coffee.
don't mind
No.
Starbucks coffee. You
Me
can get
either.
good You
I
can
like
get good
Starbucks.
Starbucks coffee.
You can, but in the same respect, when people say, "Oh, I drink a lot of Dunkin'," you're not drinking coffee. You're drinking other things. And a lot of people go to Starbucks, and you can get good coffee at Starbucks, but a lot of people go to Starbucks and get the coffee with
Crappiato.
the thing
The
and the thing and the
lattes
thing and the thing and
and
the
the
thing, and yeah, and by the
frappuccinos,
time you're done ordering it, the coffee's at the bottom of the cup,
Yeah.
and then all the sugar and all the other stuff.
Well, I was just hearing on how they have Starbucks has a deal with I think it's like the Dairy Farmers of America
Okay.
to work exclusively with them
Mm-hmm.
because they sell more milk than they do coffee.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's insane.
So
That's
you were
insane.
a Dunkin' drinker, and now you were.
I remember when Dunkin' was all the rage for coffee.
America runs on it, apparently.
Yeah, but
Not
what I
anymore.
think
Not
I
anymore.
think their coffee got shitty, right? Or were we all just hypnotized before?
I think we were all just hypnotized before. I think, personally speaking, I think that looking at the landscape of consumable products now, not just even coffee, America itself has made a shift in just the last year on this whole I'm going to get rid of I'm going to cut the fat from everything I do, and I want to be more health conscious. That's why everybody's got, fair trade and organic. Yes, Death Wishes too, but I mean, like, everybody has those buzzwords on their stuff, and no GMOs, and we're healthy for you, and the healthiest, pickle you can possibly buy, and all that kind of stuff.
Fitbit.
Yeah, and I think that is where people are starting to back away from something like Dunkin', where, I mean, Dunkin' Donuts, don't get me wrong, it's a great business model, but it's donuts and coffee. I mean, It's not healthy. For a fact. It's like going to McDonald's. For a fact you're not being healthy. I don't care if you order a salad from McDonald's. It's not.
Which is a little ironic that a lot of them are attached to a Planet Fitness.
It is very ironic.
Yeah.
They use the same colors, too.
You can smell it when you're on the treadmill.
Oh, weird. That's gross.
So weird.
I once heard that getting a salad from McDonald's is like getting a hug from a hooker.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
All right, so we ask everybody this, and this is the toughest question of all. Are you prepared?
I'm ready.
Death Wish or Valhalla Java?
Death Wish.
Oh,
Yeah,
that wasn't
without even
hard.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, for sure.
Any particular reason?
I don't know. I just like the flavor of Death Wish
Yeah.
better.
Me too.
Me too.
I
Although
feel
I
like-
like to switch it up sometimes. You drink too much of anything and you want to just switch it up. But
Right.
I think Valhalla Java is good to like. Oh wow, I really like Valhalla Java, and then you're like, I'm bored of this too. Now let's go back to Death Wish.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
They both work very well together. I like having the option, and
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. But so, okay, good. You're one of the few who was immediate, we
Yeah, I think we had like 2 or 3 people that were like, well, if you want, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, this is one or the other.
one of the others. So Death Wish it is.
Yep.
So this company has definitely, made some strides since you've been here in the year, and we've gotten into a lot of different things. I like to ask employees this question, especially someone like you who sees a lot of what we're doing go out, and you're paying for a lot of it too, because you're paying for the vendors or for, or cutting the checks for travel or whatever. Mm-hmm. Are there areas that you think we haven't touched in life that Death Wish Coffee would be good for? Do you think there's places like, and I ask this in this sense, like, do you think there's places that Death Wish Coffee could influence or could be, a good fit for that we haven't actually tried? Because like we've tried some crazy stuff, like we've had a NASCAR, and we've had, we made a comic book, and we've done all these things that you wouldn't necessarily see a coffee company do.
That one I think I'd really have to think about it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the jobs in particular that I think that it would pertain to that, it could touch their lives too, were brought out a lot in the Grind It Out campaign.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I think that they touched a lot of bases that I didn't think of, especially the hair salon.
Yeah.
With that is another industry that a lot of people don't know what goes into that. That's a lot of long hours on your feet all day long.
Yeah.
I used to work at one, and even being a receptionist was super stressful there.
Right.
That's where I was Hazel.
That's right. Yes, your nickname Hazel.
Sure, it was a hair salon.
That was a hair salon.
Yes.
So it's set on the front of the building. So I honestly, so going towards that a little bit with the hair salon angle, and Dustin, you brought up another employee that we had on the podcast, Alyssa. We asked this question to her too, and I'd be curious to hear what you think. Do you think that we have Death Wish Coffee, especially with our aesthetic and what we really try to do, the world's strongest coffee company, do you think we would have a place in the fashion world? Do you think that we can bridge that gap?
I think we can for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Death Wish Coffee makeup, maybe? The
Yeah,
world's strongest
I mean-
makeup.
Coffee scrubs are a thing, right?
They are.
So-
Yep, they help cellulite. Caffeine under your eyes, good for dark circles.
Well, that might be something to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, we
There
have...
you go. Blow coffee in your eyeballs.
There you go.
That's all you need.
we have actually started our own kind of, I guess, fashion aesthetic, with black and the skull and crossbones and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But it's interesting when I think about it from the industry at large, because you have like, even if you're thinking about just in the fashion world and the beautiful women and men walking down the runway at a fashion event, it's like you have all their hair people, all their makeup people, the photographers that are involved in it, the people who are running the event, the people who are attending the event, and then the models, and everything. So it's like there's a huge industry that all have to put in long hours, all are working really hard, and could probably benefit from coffee. I'd like to see some Death Wish coffee going down the runway someday.
I want to see, like, how they always have those like horrible, ugly dresses. I feel like it's a thing.
Yes.
How ugly can we make these dresses? Like, I think Alyssa was showing us some pictures from the fashion show, and there was literally like
Fashion Week, yeah.
5 dresses that were vagina dresses.
Yes.
Just, like,
I saw
they
those.
were wearing vaginas, but I want to see a model walk down like in a Death Wish bag.
Yeah.
Just a sack.
In a bag?
Yeah.
Is that because you designed the bags? And you could have a designer credit on that?
Yes.
So you could have fashion designer on your
into
business
it.
card. You love it. Name and lights.
Think of it now.
I love it.
I'll wear the bag.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'll wear the bag.
That's too funny.
Dress code.
That could be cool, especially with the models and all of their, they have a lot of dieting they do for that too.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people that are into fitness or whatnot are good with the coffee. So.
I'll tell you, with experience on a limited diet, coffee is like the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. Because it's like a lot of times with restrictive diets, you don't get a whole lot of flavor. And
It's true.
You dig into a cup of coffee and it's like, oh, thank God. I remember what
Heaven.
everything tastes like again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is the question that we always gravitate to, and it's very interesting when we get to ask employees this. Now that you've been here for over a year, and I mean, obviously your job has grown to the point where you're putting in that much more work and doing that many more things, and you're coming back every single day and managing the entire office. What fuels you to keep doing that? What fuels you to continue to be an employee,
And put up with our shit.
and put up with us, basically? Yeah.
Honestly, I would say from one perspective, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone gets along so well, and it's almost like working with a group of friends. So there's that. And on the other hand, I would say progression. This is, I think, the first job I've had that I didn't know anything about anything I was doing when I started. So to keep having more things added to my list, that looks good on my resume.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and it's nice
also
to get
fun.
the
It also makes the
experience
time go by really quick when you're like
Yeah.
learning stuff constantly. It doesn't get boring
Right.
ever.
Yep. Especially when it's things that you don't mind learning about.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about that a lot on this podcast with various employees too, is that what's so interesting about this company is that it is built on the backs of people who've never done it before.
Yeah.
Go back to episode 17 with Mike Brown, our fearless leader. Like, he literally was an accountant and was like, I don't want to be an accountant anymore. Maybe I'll start a coffee shop, and had never done it.
Anybody who breaks the mold always comes from the outside.
Right.
It's not like a hotel company came up with Airbnb.
Right.
It's somebody from the outside who had a viewpoint that all these guys on the inside were sweating over numbers and how can we cut this, and like they're too close to it.
Yeah.
And where all of us, we're coming from the outside with fresh perspectives and new ideas. And I
Yeah.
think that goes a long way.
I think so too. I think it also goes a long way towards somebody like you who, on your business card it says you're the office manager, but you have so many other facets to that job that you've learned on the job. So, I mean, I know, me speaking from experience, there are things I've learned on this job that I now do on a daily basis that I'm proud of that I can do, that I can do, that I know how to do, that I learned to do that. Do you feel the same way?
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially when we had Deasia here for
Our intern,
interning.
yep.
It was cool to be able to teach her something that I learned here.
Yeah.
It's always nice to be able to teach someone something else. And I mean, especially when I first came here, when I first started to learn that nobody else had been in their positions either, one person in particular, Taya, actually grabbed my attention because she is younger than I am and she knows so much.
Yeah.
And just to listen to her talk about it is very fascinating to me because she's super smart.
Yeah.
And I know that she learned a lot of that just on her own.
Yeah, just on her feet on this job. It's pretty incredible. Outside of the job, though, what do you like to do for fun? Do you have any hobbies or anything that you can't wait to do when you're not here, kind of thing?
Besides getting blasted at Log Bay Day.
Yeah. I was gonna say we already know about that one.
That didn't happen this year. Because they didn't have Log Bay Day this year.
Oh, really?
That's true.
Maybe they're
Yeah.
just sick of people getting drunk and dying out in the water.
That's kind of the truth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Jeez. Sorry,
Yeah.
not
But-
to bring it down at all, but
Anyways, yeah, I like to dye my hair.
Yep, which you just did, and it looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's always fun. I like going to concerts.
Yeah.
I like doing anything like in the water. I like going on my friend's boat. Pretty much any kind of summer activity that you can do outside, I'm all for it.
I'm kind of the same way, and I'll even find out if you're even close like this. Like, are you not a winter person?
I
Like,
hate winter.
me too.
Really?
I hibernate. I'm not a
Yeah.
skier.
I
I'm
love
not
winter.
Yeah.
It
I
kills.
mean-
There's no bugs. There's no people. You go out. You go out after a snowstorm, and it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's not even sound travels because everything's insulated by snow. I think it's an amazing thing.
But then I have to shovel the walk and
So,
clean my
yes.
car off and get cold.
Well, see,
and-
I've always ended up renting places that somebody takes care of all that. And this is for like the last 10 years, so I
Yeah.
haven't had to worry about that in a long time.
That's
so
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I shoveled either, but
Oh, it stinks.
I personally don't like driving in it.
Yeah.
I don't like
love
driving
driving
in
in
it.
it.
I don't like cold. I don't
Yeah.
like being cold. I don't mind looking at it if
It's
I'm
pretty.
inside and I'm warm
Right.
and I'm looking through a window.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you on that.
Maybe if I could snowboard,
Yeah.
but
Nah.
I can't. So
What do you mean, nah?
Nah.
What do you mean, nah?
Nah. Who wants to snowboard?
What do you mean, who wants it? Have you ever, dude, it's the closest thing to like dancing in the clouds.
I mean, drunk tubing is always fun.
Drunk tubing is very fun. Drunk anything in the winter is fun because at least you're warm.
Right, exactly. That was what I was getting at.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But I feel like, oh God, just having a warm cocktail in the winter by a fireplace
Oh, yeah.
is like the best thing in the world.
It really is.
Like a hot toddy
Yeah.
right by the fire. It's steaming and you're like, your hands are cold, but you're holding it and it's warming up your fingers.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, you need the yin with the yang, you know?
Yeah, I get it. I totally
Yeah,
understand
I
that.
can see it.
I win!
You win. You win. You win.
But you're wrong.
But you're wrong.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time to talk with us on the podcast. We did touch a little bit on your social media presence. Is there anything you'd want to shout out for people to follow you, or are you more private on social?
Feel free to follow me. I have a ton of friends on Facebook. Because
All right.
All I used to do was accept.
All right. So how do they? So what's your full name on Facebook?
It is Kristen Underwood.
All right. All right. So there you go. So if you wanna follow our awesome office manager, that's how to do it. And man, yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.